Coming up in like 10 minutes, there's another team to talk about as well, the Flyers. Flyers begin their series tomorrow night. 8 o'clock puck drop, dude.
Which I had a member of the Flyers organization text me at like a ungodly hour because they were up probably watching the series ends last night. And I said, yesterday we told you on the show, if the two series ended last night, the Flyers were going to play Saturday night.
Yeah, they didn't want to lose the slot, as you brought up.
That was going to be it. There was no way the NHL was going to say, yeah, Saturday night prime time, yeah, give it up.
We don't want that. Yeah.
The Flyers were playing Saturday night. I tweeted it out yesterday. We talked about it here in the show, and that's exactly what happened.
So Flyers, 8 o'clock tomorrow night against the Canes in Carolina, game 1.
It sucks because of the Sixers game.
Yeah, because now your eyes are going in two different directions. Game 7 magnitude, but game 1 magnitude. Like let's go. Let's see if they can steal game 1. So in a couple of minutes, you're going to talk about whether or not this series is not as lopsided as a lot of people will probably make it out to be.
Yeah, it's strangely enough, the Flyers have a better chance to win this series than they did the last one. So
honestly,
people are getting a little more respect.
Around 7-10.
People are getting a little more respect. How about this?
I like that.
And we like respect, right?
Respect is nice. Respect is
Respect
is earned. And right now the Flyers have earned that respect. And hopefully the Sixers earn that respect if they can go into Boston and win game 7 tomorrow night. So we'll get to the text line in a moment here, but Johnny, on Friday of last week, Connor, you weren't in. You were perusing. You were golfing. You were avoiding another Phillies loss. That's what we said. You ran away because the Phillies lost another game.
And we understood. We
get it.
We
man.
understood it because all of us were
lose again. So I'm not going anywhere.
That's right. You're right. So you're not taking any more time off. Last Friday, I said, look, there is one thing that I will say positively that I think maybe keeps the Sixers in this series. And it's the legs of Jayson Tatum. Because Jayson Tatum, credit to him, just like we're giving Embiid all the credit in the world for rushing back from the appendectomy, Jayson Tatum comes back after having his severe injury late last season, and at one point was considering not returning because he didn't want to mess with the mojo of the Boston Celtics because they were playing really good basketball despite his absence. Remember, a lot of people thought they'd be a bottom half Eastern Conference team in the playoffs. They finish as the 2 seed.
And that tells you how good a coach they have.
Right, exactly. And it tells you how great Jaylen Brown is, too.
Jaylen Brown.
He's a stud. And so Tatum comes back, and he's pretty good when he first returns in the regular season. And then if you look at his game logs as the season continued, the 3-ball wasn't falling as well. And we all know that when your legs go away from you, the 3-ball starts disappearing as well. The Boston Celtics live and die by the 3. Yeah. Jayson Tatum doesn't live and die by the 3, but it's what makes him so dangerous that he could shoot, he can drive, he can hit that mid-range shot. Jayson Tatum is a 3-level scorer. And if you look at his game logs in this series, look at the games the Celtics have won, look at the games that the Celtics have lost.
We figured it out. I mean, it's there. He's a little, and he's been front rimming it.
Yeah. Game 2, he's 2 of 8 from 3. Game 3, he's 5 of 9. Game 4, he's 5 of 10.
He's front rimming it.
Game 5, he's 4 of 12. And then yesterday, just 2 of 6. And we're not rooting for injury, okay?
No, we are not.
But that calf getting tight on him yesterday, and it's the opposite leg, because what do people do when they injure one leg? They usually put more weight on the other leg.
I mean, it's a compensation.
Absolutely.
Which, by the way, I would imagine that compensation is affecting his shot.
Probably.
Because of that, too. So,
and if his shot's not falling, you're going to have to rely more on Jaylen Brown, which that's fine. If you're a Boston Celtics fan, you're confident with that. But you're also relying on more of the role player guys. And maybe, just maybe, Peyton Pritchard already had his night, right? Like the first game of the series when guys like Sam Hauser and all those dudes were just electric from 3, maybe they already had their night, that role player night. We see it in NBA playoffs all the time. We've seen it against the Celtics, the Aaron Baines game against the Sixers. Like, we've seen it. So if Tatum's legs aren't there, and he's saying he's going to play tomorrow night, if his legs aren't there and his shot's not there, that changes a lot of how you have to defend that basketball team too.
Completely differently. But
for the better. For the Sixers.
I just love a team that plays defense, which I love. That's what I care. I just love a team that plays defense, and they play defense great.
And Paul George has been playing great defense in the last couple of games. Charles Barkley was on with our guys in the afternoons yesterday, Unfiltered, and Charles Barkley talked about the Celtics game plan and the three-point shot.
Well, the Celtics, they don't make any adjustments. They're just going to come out and jack up threes. And some games, you go back and look, even when they've been successful, even when they won a championship and the years in between, they just play one way. We're just going to jack up threes. When they go in, they probably going to blow you out. But when they don't go in, they lose. So it doesn't matter how you win or lose a game. People want to say the Sixers, whatever. But the Celtics, man, to me, they're a very interesting team. They kind of go overboard with today's NBA. They're just going to keep shooting threes. They never, like sometimes, like, you know what, I'm making threes. Maybe I should drive to the basket, get a couple layups in, get a foul. Sometimes that will loosen a shooter up. Guys said it all the time, you know, and I'm not making a few. I'm going to go to the basket, get a layup. Basket going to look bigger. I might get a foul, make a couple free throws. That'll help me with my rhythm. But the Celtics make no adjustments. They just like, we're just going to shoot threes. When it works, it's beautiful. When they miss, it looks ugly.
And to Charles's point, yesterday, 12 of 41 from three, 29% as a team. The Boston Celtics were from three yesterday, 9 of 16 from the free throw line. They shot 56% from the free throw line as a team yesterday. They were missing them constantly in that first half. And the Sixers, big difference. They were 17 of 19, 89% from the free throw line yesterday. That's a major difference, man. All right, game 7.
I am so excited. I can't believe. I'm very excited though that we have plans tomorrow, like to do something all day long. So it doesn't, because sitting around tomorrow would suck.
Obviously, Phillies Marlins the biggest thing about tomorrow.
Oh, easily.
Phillies Marlins 4:10. That's the biggest thing about tomorrow's day, Johnny.
When's the first beer cracked? Do you pace yourself for the late games, or do you get one ready for the Phils?
Here's the problem: you pace yourself, but
because you don't want to be.
But I saw Ray Dunn tweet this out last night. I and many other Philadelphians also have to think about our bodies the next morning.
Oh, screw Broad Street.
Broad Street runs Sunday morning, man.
Dude, 10 miles for you is nothing.
Yeah, and
you do 7 miles.
And I've been hungover doing it, so I could be all right.
You do seven. You do 7 or 8 miles routinely.
Yeah.
And I've seen you do it in extreme heat.
And I've been hungover. Yeah.
And when we went to New Orleans, it wasn't a complete work trip. No matter how much we tried to spin it.
I was still going for my runs.
You were. You got your runs in.
I had the runs, and I was going for the runs.
And you did. I was very proud of you. You did.
What do we have on the Davis on the text line? Feel the Davis difference. Check them out in Burlington. And then we'll check the poll.
I love when you crack yourself up with your
the day.
Kid jokes.
Dr. Avi Donapel, Iron Mountain Men's Health. Man, there's a lot of poop jokes in the Salchunas family these days with a little 4-year-old running around. What do we have on the text line, Connor?
Stephen Thorndale checks in next. He says, 1, shame on the NBA for hiding that game from me last night. 2, thankfully Tom McGinnis is a damn legend and painted me a beautiful picture. And 3, play the damn song.
Hell yeah.
Why did they hide it from you? Up.
So,
it was on. You had the alternate NBC Sports one.
If you have YouTube TV.
Okay.
If you don't have YouTube
then
TV.
you have Peacock.
If you don't have Peacock.
Then you sign up for the free trial and you watch Peacock.
Okay. And here's the problem.
Why don't you do that?
There's people like Al Salchunas that have no idea.
Dude, I'm sorry.
My dad couldn't watch the game yesterday.
Yes, he could have. He could have signed up for the free trial.
He doesn't know how to do that, dude.
Come on.
There's a lot of people that don't.
Dude, Al is my brother's age. Now, I tell you, my brother is like should be 80. He's not, but he acts 80.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It's not hard.
No, what's not hard.
This isn't hard.
What's not hard is these leagues. Why not be able to do what the NFL does? All right, games on Netflix tonight, but if it's one of your local teams, it'll be on your local NBC or your local
Oh,
whatever.
no, I agree with you. I think that is fantastic.
Like, that's why.
Because you know why?
Why can't you do that?
No, I'm going to tell you why. Is because the NFL would get better ratings than what they show on regular primetime TV at the time. This is early May. This is sweeps.
You mean to tell me a PHL 17?
No. They don't want to put. They're not going to. PHL 17 is not going to pay the amount of money that it takes to.
Bet you they get viewers.
Yeah, but they're not going to pay. They're not going to have the amount of money to buy it from the NBA.
Listen, man, if the Sixers go into Boston and win Game 7, I'd watch it on Tubi. I don't care. I don't care where you put it.
No,
Just finish this off.
Wait a minute now.
But
Are you making up names of like TV things?
Tubi's real. Wasn't that?
Was that the one that was that the one where the Phillies were on? The one time when
they were on there before World Baseball Classic. Remember Team USA?
That was the one.
USA Dominican Republic was supposed to be on Tubi, and then they realized this is stupid. Let's move them to Fox.
I said you guys are making up things now, like names of these things, which is unbelievable. It's not hard. It's not hard. These streaming services. Here's what is hard though. Why can't you? Now somebody's going to say to me, "This technology already exists," and then I'm going to look like I'm behind the times. Why can't my television be like my computer? Why can't I have Netflix, Amazon?
What, you want tabs open?
Yes.
Yeah, why not?
Why can't my TV do that?
Well, that would be a computer.
Well, my TV is a computer. It really is, right?
It's a smart TV.
Connor, you're smart. You're smart. You're the guy I'd pick for 97.5 The Fanatic Jeopardy to represent us. You tell me that they can't make a computer? They can't make a television that has tabs that allows
I'm sure it exists out there somewhere.
If it existed, I don't believe me. I think I'd own it.
You'd own it, yeah.
I think I'd own it. I don't have as nice a stuff as some of you guys do.
That's the
like some of the toys that I see some of the kids.
That's the next big drop in tech.
Everybody tweet John Kincaid different types of TVs so he can find one he likes.
Okay, because we're going to buy a new TV soon, so that's a great thing. If there's a TV that has the tabs that allows me to go between Amazon and regular TV, then I want it. I want it, and I would pay for that. And I would pay more for that.
By the way, people, Kev, the game was on channel 1211 on Comcast. Some people don't have Comcast anymore. But
the thing is, it was on YouTube. It was on,
so you guys
and
know.
then you can get your free trials.
Yeah, or you have the previous owner's YouTube.
See, that's
account.
nice.
Or you just listen on the Fanatic.
Still on your TV.
Listening on the Fanatic is great.
Well, that's a
Tom
must.
McGinnis is
man.
Tom McGinnis is worth the price of admission.
Don't worry. Tomorrow we don't have to worry about any of that. Tomorrow it's on ESPN, I believe. Game 7 tomorrow night. So we don't have to worry about any of that stuff. All right, Connor, what's the poll of the day before we talk some Flyers hockey? And you'll hear from Rick Tocchet, who joined us at the end of the show yesterday.
Which was great. Thank you, Coach, for doing that.
Hell yeah. Poll of the day brought to us by Dr. Avidan Appel and Iron Mountain Men's Health. It's strong for 4 hours every single morning. What we got?
I'm surprised it's so lopsided. If the Sixers win Game 7, would this series be the most surprising playoff series win in Philadelphia sports history? 82% are saying yes.
I told you I think it would be.
I opened the show saying second to the Flyers, 3-0 comeback. But to your point, the Flyers were supposed to be in that series.
The Flyers were supposed to be a good team. Like the Flyers weren't supposed to be down 3-0 in that series. So to me, it can't be the Flyers.
So a lot of people writing in that one and saying that was more surprising. And then we did get a mention of the 2012 8-seeded Sixers who took down the 1-seeded Bulls. That's no Derrick Rose.
When Derrick Rose got hurt, that series changed, and then Noah gets hurt later on.
It was like that was the perfect storm.
Yeah,
of everything went the Sixers.
Look, I'm sure you were surprised. Before Game 1, if somebody said, "Oh, the Sixers are going to win this series," you'd be like, "No, you're crazy."
You'd be like, "You're nuts."
Derrick Rose would need to get hurt in order for them to win. And then he gets hurt.
Then he got hurt.
I'm looking at some of their responses. A lot of the 3-0 comeback, the Flyers, Bruins. But the Timothy Applewood says every series the Phillies won in 2022.
No.
I wasn't that surprised, man.
You weren't surprised they beat the Padres?
No, the Braves would be the most surprising.
The Braves was the most surprising one. The Cardinals wasn't.
No, the Cardinals, how they won it Game 1.
It was in St. Louis, but that wasn't a great Cardinals team.
No. How they won it, it took to literally the ninth inning.
Ninth inning of the game and then they dominated them Saturday night. That Aaron Nola outing was a work of art.
And Miles Michaelis hung a curveball that Bryce Harper, I don't believe it has landed yet.
Baseball's so different, too. Like, you make one pitch here, one pitch there, guy gets a good swing on it, and all of a sudden a good team loses.
Yeah, there's not many upsets in basketball, right?
Nah.
They're really, because it's 7 games.
Not over 7 games.
And so if the Sixers were to win this series tomorrow night, it would be shocking. And we'd be benefiting from the shock, right? It'd be a shock value for once for us where we're celebrating it, not like the Atlanta Hawks series. It would be nice that we got the positive shock value. That'd be great.
It'd be awesome.
It would be stunning, man. And it's tomorrow night.
But what happened to those Hawks last night?
Oh, dude.
That is the
worst.
worst.
Play.
Is that the worst showing in a home game where you're fighting for, I don't remember a game ever being that lopsided.
I wonder how many people had the same moment that I had yesterday. I'm watching the Sixers because they started earlier. I'm watching the Sixers game, and they had on the top right of the YouTube TV broadcast the score of the Knicks-Hawks game. And at one point, it was like 74-23. And I said to my wife, I go, am I reading that? Or is that a 3 or a 7? And she said, that's a 7. So I Googled the score to see because sometimes these broadcasts.
Could something be wrong?
I was like, that can't be right. Nope, it was right. The Knicks.
That was incredible.
The Knicks led the Hawks in Atlanta 40-15 at the end of the first quarter. They were leading at halftime 83-36. And I felt so bad for Hawks fans because they had some halftime show. They're trying to get the crowd hyped up. Could you imagine being the performer at halftime? Sixers, by the way, good call, bringing out Red Panda. That's a guarantee win every single time you have her in the stadium. She's the one that does the
spinning. I don't know how she does that.
She's the
now,
best.
Connor, you always say that the witchcraft thing. That's witchcraft.
That's witchcraft. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
No, it's witchcraft.
But
There's
imagine being the performer
going on.
You have to hype up the crowd that's down by 50.
No, we got audio of the performer.
Hawks, baby.
There it is. There it is.
It didn't work.
That's awesome.
There it is. Uncle Shaq, by the way, very in on the Sixers and what he's seeing out of Embiid.
Oh.
He's very proud of Embiid. Indeed,
That's awesome.
I appreciated the shout out the other night during the highlights. He was making sure that I give him that Embiid gets the love, and him too. Because he's very, very critical of Joel over time, and but he's been giving Joel a lot of love. This is what the guy that he's always wanted to see.
Yep. And we're getting it right now.
This is fun.
What else is fun? Flyers. Game 1 tomorrow, 8 o'clock puck drop. This was Rick Tocchet yesterday. I told you I was going to straight up ask him, hey, are you happy to be here? Because that's what a lot of us are saying, but you knew that he wouldn't just be happy to be here. Here's his answer.
We're happy, but we're not happy to be here. We have a shot. We're going to probably be less than 3.8% in this series, which we kind of love, and it's going to be a tough sled. I mean, listen, Carolina's a terrific team, well coached, but you don't get opportunities like that. So the happy to be here is probably not something that we're thinking about. We're just thinking about, hey, we have a chance to, at the first game, we're going into Carolina and try to win that first game and see where it goes.
And I love that he dropped a Rod the Bod, too. That was great.
Yeah, Rod the Bod.
That was great.
Awesome.
They love picking on that.
So you went through the regular season matchups between these two teams.
Because I think a lot of people don't realize is that as much as the Hurricanes are a really good team. And I heard Brian Boucher yesterday with Unfiltered talking about it seems like to him the way this team smothers you sometimes with their forecheck and everything, it seems like they have 6 skaters on the ice. They're incredible. But the Flyers, for whatever reason, play them really, really tight. I got good news and bad news.
I know the bad news already.
Well, they played them 4 times in the regular season. Every single game ended regulation tied. That's almost impossible.
Get your sleep in, folks.
For teams to play 4 games in the regular season and every game was not decided in regulation. That's pretty incredible. The Flyers lost 3 of the 4 games. 1 of them they lost in overtime. 2 of them they lost in shootouts. And then they won 1 in a shootout. The Flyers play the Hurricanes well. And I can tell you that I think there was a little bit of Rick Tocchet yesterday feeling, we're okay with this matchup. We sort of like it. We sort of like the matchup with the Hurricanes because when you know you can play a team to dead even through 60 minutes 4 times in a year, and the Flyers are playing their best hockey now, and they're clearly playing their best hockey now, I don't think they're overconfident or anything, but I think they say to themselves, this isn't a lopsided matchup. They think they have a chance.
I love that.
Why not us?
Why not? There you go. Why not us, man? Horn me up.
I like it. Get horny.
Can we play the song and the horn at the same time later?
Yeah, sure.
You never know.
Why not?
We'll double up.
Let's
Get
make it
horny,
happen.
baby.
All right, coming up next, let's relive incredible Game 6 again. Sixers forced a Game 7. It was here on 97.5 The Fanatic. You'll hear it. And also, let's further this conversation about the shock value if they are to win this series. Is it the most shocking series win of all time if it happens? It is Kincaid and Sal Tunis here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Kincaid and Sal Tunis, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
I'm going to put him to the test, Johnny. Connor, can you play the song and horn me up? Dude, tomorrow night's going to be absurd. Saturday night, we have Sixers Celtics Game 7. We have Game 1 between the Flyers and the Hurricanes. 7:30 tip-off, 8 o'clock puck drop, 7:30 here on the Fanatic, 8 o'clock on MMR. An unbelievable night ahead and an unbelievable weekend for Philadelphia because the Broad Street runs a very special thing Sunday morning, too, for everybody that's a part of it and everybody that lives in the city. And
After the 2 nights of Saturday night?
Dude, it's going to be crazy, man. Crazy time in Philadelphia.
I mean, are you kidding me? Like, it's like, how's anybody going to be up?
We'll figure it out. Lots of coffee.
Cousin Matt loves the horn me up.
Yeah, horn me up, man.
He loves the horn me up. He thinks that that's great.
Dude, let's go. Let's be children. Let's go. Let's act childish here. All right. Before we get to the Sixers montage, if you missed it earlier today, Connor Thomas put together a great montage of yesterday's win for the Sixers. And we're going to get into a conversation about just how shocking this series could be if they pull it out tomorrow. Joe in Robbinsville was at the game last night. Need to know what that was like. What's up, Joe? You're on Kincaid and Sal Tunis.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How are we?
Good, man. It's a beautiful morning.
Yes, it is. So I'm on my way to the Kentucky Derby now, but was at the game last night, and the energy was just unreal. It was unreal. You know, me and my girl, we were walking up. The guy behind us was like, "Man, I hope we win." I was like, I just feel it in the air. It felt like winning energy. It felt like championship atmosphere, and it was an unreal time. One of the best times I've had in a while. And it was just funny seeing all the Celtics fans, the salty Celtics fans. They were chirping. I saw a couple little scuffles, nothing crazy, but yeah, it was just funny to see. Like, you're down 22 and you're still trying to chirp. Like, it was crazy. And Sixers and 7.
How you going to the Kentucky Derby? How did that come about?
Yes, I'm going with 2 clients.
Wow.
So I do marketing for some attorneys. So
That's great.
So we got something together, and we're heading there.
That's awesome, Joe. Listen, man, I'm glad you had fun last night. What's special about this, and thanks for the call, dude, is how much we as a city deserve this because of the wild road that we've gone on with the Sixers over the decade. Now, could this be the most improbable way where we get what we've been asking for? Yes.
Well, you'd have to go through the Knicks to do that.
And so it's crazy, John, because I am not trying to look past tomorrow night.
Sounds like you are.
Because you literally can't.
Sounds like you are.
The amount of people that tweeted at me yesterday that they literally just have to win this series against Boston and they could finally do it.
What?
And I'm like, hold on, let's Game 7 first.
Seriously?
I hear you.
Who are these people?
I hear you, but I can't do that, man.
Who are you? They haven't. This is a team has not gotten out of the second round in a quarter of a century, and you're already counting them.
Man.
Stop it.
I was like, I get it, but let's not do that yet.
No, you don't get it.
Let's Game 7 first.
You don't get it, though. That's nonsense. That's ridiculous. That's stupid talk.
People were dreaming yesterday, man.
Yeah, no, people were. No, I think they were at one of those not refineries. One of those repositories.
Dispensaries.
My God,
maybe you were.
Refineries,
Where were you
depositories.
I'm going down all the list of words that sound like it.
Everybody knows that John Kincaid, big pothead, by the way he talks.
Yes.
All right, let's relive last night. Here's how it sounded on the Fanatic.
George gets it. He's guarded by Brown. Into Embiid. Turnaround fadeaway. Got it. Sixers on the board. Embiid already calling for a foul. Made a turnaround field goal. And the Sixers with the early two simply. Embiid is 2 of 6. Tatum with a pull-up 3. Bang, it's good. Jayson Tatum pours it in. And it's a 1-point game. Here's Embiid out top. He'll fire for 3. Garza gave him room. Embiid went 0 for 5 in Boston. Clean look there, and he buries a triple. Sixers in front by 1. 26-25. Brown with room. Brown has it knocked by Grimes. Goes up and lays it in. So the Sixers, VJ kind of taking off without a plan, and Keita rejected him. And Brown goes the other way and gets an under-control layup. 46-40. Here's George. Corner 3 over Tatum. It's good. Paul George in the corner, fading, firing, and he got it from deep. A 3 makes it 49-40. Oubre with it, 2-on-2. He's got Edgecombe. Bangs into Hauser, almost lost the handle. Over to George. 3 by PJ. It's good. A triple by George. His 4th in the game. And the Sixers go up by 12. Embiid on the back now. Tatum comes to double by the back, and Oubre gets a jam. What a dish by Embiid. A behind-the-back bounce pass. Kelly Oubre from the right baseline gathered it and then dunked it. Brown down the lane. Brown rejected by the Sixers. Here comes the run out. George behind his back to BJ, and he slams it. Timeout Boston. What a game. Sixers 69. Boston 54. Are you kidding me? BJ Edgecombe slams it in. George driving and Keita and Brown are there. He's doubled. He spins. He goes to Embiid. Embiid back to George. Reverse slam. Up and good. He turns. He scores it. Timeout. Joe Mazzulla. 88-65. Sixers looking to force a game 7. Joel into the lane. Backing. Turning to VJ. Corner 3. Up and good. The Sixers are going to be heading to Boston. They lead 98-78. 5 minutes to go. And the crowd with a standing ovation, a sellout of over 19,000. Here's Oubre faking a 3, 4 to shoot, drives it, jams it on Luka, and that will seal the deal. 103-89, 90 seconds to go. Maxey signaling to the crowd in Iversonian orchestral like a conductor at the orchestra. Let me hear you. Maxey makes the free throws and finishes off a 30-point game. The Boston Celtics dribble away the remaining time. Sixers win the game. The final 106-93. And there will be a game 7.
And Tyrese Maxey, spectacular last night, Johnny.
He was.
And after the game, he talked, obviously at the podium and said that we owed our fans this because if you remember, game 4, what could have been the last Sixers home playoff game, right? If they lost game 5, series over.
Yeah, it looked that way.
It was horrific. And for every Sixers fan that went down, you wasted your money. I hate saying that. You went to support your team, but you
wasted your money that night because it was terrible. Money. It was a terrible effort.
Yeah, it was horrible. And then we see the last 2 nights, and for Tyrese Maxey to say that it's so spot on. And now we get to watch Game 7 tomorrow. And as we've been talking about a lot this morning, let's check the poll of the day. Dr. Abidan Appel, Iron Mountain Men's Health. If the Sixers were to win tomorrow night and complete this series after getting destroyed by 32 points in Game 1. By the way, first off, before we even start Game 1, all the odds against the Sixers.
It's completely against.
Celtics were minus 1150 to win this series.
I mean, it was huge.
They lose by 32 in Game 1. Game 2, they win, but at one point in the first quarter, the Celtics go on a 16-0 run. Then the Celtics take a 3-1 series lead, and that Game 4, Embiid, it just looks horrible, and they've pulled the last 2 games off. It's a totally different look, and we wonder if they win this series, is this the most shocking series win ever? What do we got on the poll?
81% of responders are saying, yes, it will be the most surprising playoff series win in Philadelphia sports history if the Sixers win. And over 200 votes on this one already, so not a small sample size.
I'm surprised that it seems that you're surprised a little bit. That people think this would be the biggest.
You know what? It's just when you ask
I'm not surprised. I had it at 2 behind the Flyers.
I think it's bigger because that Flyers team wasn't bad. This Sixers team was not supposed to win.
Right.
That Flyers
and their
team,
best player was out for the first 3 games.
That Flyers team was not. That series with Boston was supposed to be a 6 or 7 game series. It wasn't supposed to be 3-0 Boston.
Right.
So that's just the difference.
Yeah, it's just a very in-the-moment question, and we have a strong, passionate, lifelong fan base here in Philadelphia. So whenever you ask the greatest of all time right now question, there's always the folks, hey, what about this in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s? That's the only reason I'm surprised. It's so overwhelmingly yes.
And look, I know football isn't series, it's individual games, but
sure.
Even the Eagles, the Nick Foles run, there was so much magic in the air.
Oh my gosh.
That I picked them to beat the Falcons when I found out that they weren't playing the Rams. I picked them to beat the Vikings when I found out that they weren't playing the Saints. And at that point I said, look, there's enough magic. They're beating the Patriots. If somebody told me before the season started that Nick Foles would lead the team to the Super Bowl, I think you were on crack. But once we were living it, I wasn't even all that surprised. You were by that run.
I was. I think it was the craziest thing. That was such a crazy confluence of events. But again, everything went their way.
Right. Whereas this,
they didn't have to play the Rams. They played the Falcons. They didn't have to play the Saints. They played the Vikings.
Yeah.
It just went their way.
And then it was one game, for the Super Bowl. He's like, all right, let's go.
And I think Keanu Neal, again, you can thank me for Keanu Neal.
It's all
Good luck.
because of you, John.
Speaking of Nick Foles, we're going to hear about him later in the show.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
A lot of people.
9:30. I wonder, John, here's a very early tease for 9:30. Do you get as much heat as I got a couple of years ago?
Okay.
I have a very similar take that I got crushed for one Saturday morning.
I'm ready for it.
All right, coming up next, though, we have today's headlines. And before today's headlines, dude, I got to tell you about an experience of a lifetime that I had yesterday that you've done before.
And it's awesome.
I can't wait to share it with people because it might actually give you a newfound respect for a sport. It's Kincaid and Sal Tunis, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Kincaid and Sal Tunis, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
7:47 here on Kincaid and Sal Tunis, 97.5 The Fanatic. We have today's headlines with Connor Thomas coming up in a few minutes. We also have Amy Fadul. You taking pictures of us, Amy? She is. She's taking pictures of two stud men, John Kincaid and Andrew Sal Tunis.
Very sweet.
It is a
her.
Friday with Fadul. Amy will be in studio with us from 8 to 10. I know she was fired up last night. Sixers get the win. Game 6 over the Celtics, forcing a Game 7. And we will have it here on 97.5 The Fanatic tomorrow night. But before today's headlines, guys, I got to tell you about something incredible that I got to experience yesterday. And John Kincaid did not oversell it. We always pride ourselves on not trying to oversell something.
Try not to say this is the greatest sandwich you're ever going to have, the greatest place you've ever been.
So Ricky Bottalico is endorsing the Dover Motor Speedway, which is in Delaware, Dover, Delaware. And they have events all year long, but of course they have the big NASCAR race in 2 weeks. But yesterday was like a media event, and he couldn't make it because it was from 11 to 3. And he does this show called Unfiltered here on 97.5 The Fanatic. He also has the Phillies obligations with NBC Sports Philadelphia. So somebody had to fill his spot. And I told you this story yesterday. They're like, Andrew, do you like NASCAR? I was like, no. And they're like, I guess you don't want to go and get in a car with Brad Keselowski. I was like,
yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just because I'm not a fan of NASCAR doesn't mean I don't want to get on a racetrack with a professional driver that, yes, I will put my life in his hands because he does this for a living and makes millions of dollars doing it.
And you're doing it.
So I make the drive to Dover, and it was great. Saw all kind of events that they have going on.
Isn't it a neat place, too?
Oh, really cool. Down the street, there was some professional paintball tournament going on where guys were yelling and screaming at each other. It was freaking awesome, man. Also, I'm a big paintball guy.
A professional paintball.
It was on ESPN, too. It was being broadcast yesterday. But then we go to the Speedway, and they go, so you want to get in the car? I'm like, oh, wait, you guys weren't lying.
I get to do it.
John, I get in the car with Brad Keselowski, who's like a champion. He's won. And
he's awesome.
He turns to me. So, do you just want to go around the track, or do you want to go fast? And I was basically like Ricky Bobby. I want to go fast. I want to go fast. And he goes, all right. And right away, you're flying back in your seat, man. And you're in a normal seatbelt.
But you feel pinned.
Oh, yeah, dude.
My face
pinned. My face was
yes.
Back.
You feel it.
And the craziest thing, look, I'm not going to all of a sudden start watching the 500-lap races, right? But I'm looking at this guy as if like he had his arm around me, like just driving at 140 miles per hour.
Hugging, as you told me this morning, because I warned you about it. You sense the wall is that you're going right into the wall.
I'm in the front passenger seat, and the wall, like, if I put my arm out the window, I'm
you would touch
touching
it.
the wall. And he's just sitting there going, yeah, so how's your day going? I'm about to hit the curve here at 135 miles per hour. I'm gonna take it down a little bit so that he can go around the curve. And then we're hitting the straightaways at probably 150, 160.
Right.
And I'm sitting there going, wait a minute, you do this 500 times. You don't lose concentration.
No.
There's cars all around you. Everyone's trying to pass you.
See, that's the thing. Everybody going in and out. Can you imagine the stress of that?
Yeah, that's every Uber driver in Philly.
Dude, it's stressful on 76 at 4 o'clock in the morning.
It is.
And this guy's going 141. I have a newfound respect for those racers, man.
Also, too, you're shocked at the size of them. They're small. They're small dudes.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Oh,
they're
yeah, he's not some big
They're
bulky
small,
guy.
wiry dudes for the most part.
Yeah.
And you're like, how do they do that? It's incredible.
Their forearms have to be rocks, dude.
Now, now the question is this. Is a skill a sport?
I call that a sport, yeah.
See, I think it's a skill set. I don't really consider it a sport.
He went into the
I consider it an amazing.
get.
I consider it an amazing skill set.
All right.
Like look, I have all the respect in the world for it. I can't, but I'll tell you, going in a car, I did it twice at Atlanta Motor Speedway. It was awesome.
Dude, unbelievable.
It's an awesome experience.
You can go to Dover Motor Speedway, check out their website. They have all kinds of events, and it was so freaking cool. And if you ever have the opportunity to get into a car with someone, say yes, because it was the adrenaline, dude. It was nuts.
There you go.
All right, it's time now for today's headlines with Connor Thomas.
Today's headlines with the Connor Thomas.
What we got, V?
It's brought to us by Lundy Law for over 70 years. Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people. If you need them, remember the name Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com. That's LundyLaw.com. So we have a couple of teams getting knocked out of the NBA playoffs. Not your Sixers. We got Game 7. But the Denver Nuggets were ousted by the Minnesota Timberwolves. And Nikola Jokic was asked after the game if he believed there would be changes with the Nuggets organization because of the loss in the first round. And, things are a little bit different here than what he's used to back home.
Definitely. If you're in Serbia, you will get fired.
So back home, he's saying the whole team would get fired. I imagine they're expecting some turnover.
Yeah, there was talk last year. Remember, they lost to the Thunder. It was a great series. It went 7 games. It was a fantastic series. And there was already talk then. And remember 2 years ago, the owner had that weird comment about trading Nikola Jokic or whatever, or like there's going to be talks. It was like a weird comment. I don't think he's not going anywhere, but they might make changes to that. I'm surprised they fired the coach 2 years ago. Well, Malone, right? Wasn't Malone the coach and they got rid of him? By the way, Knicks are lucky they won because the Tibbs conversation.
Oh, it would have been terrible. Well, wait, this is just a first-round series.
You're right.
Remember, he got fired for not going to the finals.
Right. They went 7 games in the Eastern Conference Finals. They fired Tibbs. There's a lot of teams that itchy trigger fingers sometimes with the coaches.
Absolutely. Another one we're going to talk about here because the Trailblazers lost to the Spurs. That's totally understandable. And the Blazers played over their head this year. So a lot of folks out there feel that head coach Tiago Splitter did a great job. Tom Dundon, though, the new owner of the Trailblazers, he's caught a lot of flack. They haven't had T-shirts for the playoff games. He's got a new nickname. They're calling him El Cheapo, like El Chapo. But everyone's calling him cheap out there. He's fighting back against that narrative, though, by deciding that Portland's going to try and find a new head coach who's going to accept being the lowest paid in the NBA as a cost-cutting measure.
Yeah, I saw it. So this is real? That's real.
No, he is.
I couldn't believe it when I read it.
Why?
It's just insane, man. And by the way, Tiago Splitter did a great job.
He did.
Dude, this is the team that Chauncey Billups was the head coach of, and the FBI took him away.
But Tiago wasn't going to sign the deal. He didn't want to sign the deal for being the lowest paid coach in the NBA. So he has the right to walk away from the job, or he has the right to sign for the job. I mean,
I know. I can't believe that they're not going to just give him more money.
Going into the job market saying, hey, this is the lowest paying position. Who wants it?
Yeah. And somebody will.
It's one of the franchises that is the smallest markets, least thing. I mean, why should they be overpaying for a coach?
Speaking of, I don't want to
All right.
I don't want to talk about it too much.
All right.
I watched the Jailblazers Untold documentary
you
this
did?
week. Oh, dude, it was awesome.
What brought that up? How did you have time this week?
It was like 45 minutes long.
Oh, I didn't realize. I thought it was one of those longer.
No,
I
dude, it's
gotta
great.
watch
It's on
that.
Netflix. Untold. It's fantastic.
That franchise would be fine right now if Dame Lillard just didn't run from the grind.
Yeah, you didn't want to.
We'll round out with this Kentucky Derby this weekend. We mentioned it a couple of times. We're going to pick some ponies here. None of us know anything about horse racing,
No.
I'm pretty sure. Amy Fadul might when she joins us.
Amy probably does with being a Kentucky lady.
But we don't. So, who do you guys like in the Kentucky Derby?
Chief Wallaby.
Oh, okay. 8-1, I believe.
Because I'm going Chief Wallaby because anything that hasn't cancel culture has not touched, I'm all for. And I'm surprised they let the horse have that name. Chief Wallaby. Surprised somebody's not protesting it.
Connor, I already know who you're picking.
Oh, let's see
Yes,
if you
he
can
predicted
this
it.
one.
He predicted it.
Incredible.
That's one of the two that I'm between. The other one is Right to Party. You got to
okay.
fight for the right to party.
Well, Incredible, in case people don't know, Connor's dog's name is Bolt.
My mom has already wanted me to place a bet on that horse.
Yeah, so that's why I
So I'll
think
go with Incredible just for the family's sake.
What about you, Andrew?
I'm going 15-1. I named my car Carlos because of Carlos Ruiz, Chooch. And when the Phillies... I'm so happy, man. The Phillies and Carlos Ruiz will always be special in my heart. I'm going with So Happy.
Oh.
15-1 in honor of Carlos Ruiz.
Can I
Love
ask you
that.
something? You wanted to name your car after Carlos Ruiz.
Yes.
Why didn't you name it Chooch?
Feels too on the nose.
Like, why Carlos? Because you name it Chooch, everybody knows it's named after Chooch.
Yeah, it's a conversation starter. All right, coming up next, Amy Fadul in studio with us. Good job, Connor.
Carlos.
Thank you. Carlos the Civic, man.
It's very formal.
Carlos the Civic rolls off the tongue better than Chooch the Civic.
No, Chooch would be awesome. That's a backstop, baby.
You know what else is awesome? Amy Fadul. She joins us in studio for the rest of the show. Sixers force a Game 7 last night. What was it like last night at the Xfinity Mobile Arena? She can tell us. Oh, my God. And how much would this series mean for Joel Embiid? It's Kincaid and Sal Tunis, 97.5, The Fanatic.